What's up, Radar Cars? Is the new Corvette C8 a GT500 killer in every way? Let's discuss. 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, and that is on a naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8, pushing almost 500 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. This is done in an 8-speed DCT transmission, and this car weighs less than 3,400 pounds dry weight. Sure, it's not a Lotus, but it's also not a GT500 in terms of weight. And here's the most important number. Chevy's doing this for $60,000 asterisk. And we'll discuss that asterisk in a few seconds. And here's a worthy note. We all know that the GT500 is experiencing massive markup. I'm hearing $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, and even higher than that. Someone has told me they've gotten commitment from a Chevy dealer for 0 markup. That's a good sign. So with the GT500 coming out just around the corner at almost $100,000 fully spec'd, over $70,000 out the door for a base model, Chevy just dropped a bomb on the industry, dropping this 0 to 60 masterpiece for around $60,000. So if we can get a C8 without markup, so the GT500 coming out just around the corner, right around the same time of the C8 coming out. And I know some guys have already put down deposits on GT500s. I almost did that myself. And some guys have already ordered GT500s. I'm thinking they might be second guessing themselves. And I'm sure we might be seeing some guys pulling their orders, thinking, what can I get in this Corvette for $100,000? Or $75,000 or $85,000, however much they spec their GT500 for. I know I am, and I haven't even decided on a GT500 yet. So GT500, Corvette C8, who wins in terms of looks? I think they're equal. I think they're both sexy as. However, the C8 looks more like a supercar and definitely has a sexier interior. In terms of practicality, they're both not very practical cars. The GT500 is going to win because it has a backseat and more trunk space. Sound, I'm sure they're both going to be beastly. However, the C8 is naturally aspirated and I cannot wait to hear it. However, the GT500 also sounds like a boss, so I'm going to go ahead and call that as equal. Interior. Look at the interior of the C8 versus what's available in the GT500. I am salivating. Now this is no doubt the upgraded interior, and here is what the interior probably looks like for the base model. The GT500 has upgraded their interior. They've wrapped the center console, and I think it looks good. I think it's a high quality interior, but there's no options. There's no options to change colors or increase the quality of the materials, etc. So I'm going to give the interior definitely to the C8. The Corvette has a system that lifts the C8's nose by 40 millimeters in less than 3 seconds if you're going to be going up one of those driveways or going over speed bumps or just on rough roads. And I can tell you with my GT350 and you guys with Mustangs that are also low to the ground, and I'm driving in New York most of the time, I am scraping that car left and right. You all know the agony of that scraping noise when you're going down a decline or up an incline. This system can even be programmed to automatically lift the nose at 1,000 locations based on GPS. That is so awesome. Tranny, it's a tie. Neither one of them have a manual, which I think sucks, but at least they have DCT. They both have DCT, which is dual clutch transmission, duh. I had that in my E92 M3. I think it's awesome. It's pretty much the only trade-up I'll do over a manual these days. So for transmission, tie. Price, the C8 starting at under $60,000. However, you're definitely gonna spec that a little bit higher. The way I would spec it with the interior and the performance package, it's probably gonna be somewhere in the mid-70s by the time I'm done with it. And that still slaughters the GT500 in terms of price. Winner, C8. Fuel economy, just kidding. This isn't a snowflake channel. Performance, 0 to 60 is definitely gonna be owned by the C8. However, in terms of the quarter mile, that GT500 with its luscious 760 horsepower engine is definitely gonna dominate. Tie, cornering, probably a tie. They're both gonna be awesome. The C8 may edge out the GT500 a little bit with its lower weight and its lower stance. That remains to be seen. What to watch out for? There is a lot. So the price is $60,000, thereabouts. Something you gotta pay attention to here. That performance package, what they're calling the Z51, that's got a lot of stuff. It's got Magnarite, for example, for selectable ride control. It's got upgraded exhaust, cooling, brakes, tires, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, and more. So what's the price gonna be? Especially because we're gonna wanna upgrade that interior to this luscious interior here. Again, I'm guessing mid-70s, still an awesome deal versus the GT500. This is so likely gonna revive Chevy's sales figures. I mean, this thing almost revolutionizes the sports car industry, dropping this much power and this much absolute sexiness into the relatively low range of like 60, 70,000. I want to say thank you, Chevy, for doing this awesomeness. We the consumers love you. So what are some of the cons of the C8? First of all, no manual option for us romantics. However, given all of the deliciousness that I just mentioned about the C8, and also given that they have a DCT, this is not a deal breaker for me. No back seat. I do prefer a back seat, but again, this is not a deal breaker for me at all. Here's a con, especially as a YouTuber, at $60,000 to $70,000 for this awesome ride, everybody's gonna be buying them. Everybody's gonna have one. Everybody and their brother are gonna be driving C8s. All of the YouTubers are already talking about buying them. So where does that put me in terms of content? When the novelty wears off, you guys are gonna get bored of these C8s. Maybe if I could afford one as an additional car, that would be good for content. Guys, please share the channel with your family and your friends to help us grow. Another con is loyalty. I have been with Ford for a few years now. I've had tons of different cars. However, I have had the most fun I've ever had with my 2018 Mustang GT, God rest its soul, and with my GT350. I love muscle cars and I love muscle bikes. And quite frankly, the GT350 is basically a muscle car that performs like a supercar on the track, and I know that the GT500 is going to be as well. Cosmetics. Well, the C8 is beautiful. The taillights are a little bit like Camaro-esque, like I said in my video last night. However, an aftermarket mod may remedy that situation. There's that strip of buttons that I also mentioned and a few other people were mentioning as well. Not too sure what's going on with that, but actually it's kind of growing on me. I love that the cockpit is totally focused on the driver. It's give me all the attention, C8, give it to me. I don't care about my passenger wanting to push buttons on the screen. They're not allowed to touch it anyway. Thank you, Chevy, for focusing on the driver. I mean, I'm gonna be driving this thing 99% of the time alone anyway, because I have no friends. Will you be my friend? What do you mean, no? No! Just kidding. Cosmetics for the GT500 in comparison, hot. That is the best looking front end I've ever seen. My only gripe is that, and this goes with the GT350 too, is I wish they would have differentiated the sides a little bit more, and especially the rear end a little bit more than the standard Mustang GT. It's basically the same rear end almost. However, the Mustang GT rear end is sexy as. No! So I can't really complain. So I don't know, guys, what do you think? Here are my options right now in my mind. Do I save every penny and try to get a GT500? I would probably go for a base model and just try to build it up myself for the channel content. Do I save every penny and get a Corvette C8 with a performance package and upgraded interior and save that 20,000-ish versus the GT500 and put that into a supercharger? Or maybe another Ducati Diavolo, which is like an awesome bike. Or maybe just pay off my credit cards. Choices. Or do I keep my screamingly awesome GT350 and supercharge it at some point? Or maybe keep it stock / E85 race tune, which makes the car super awesome, and then save up money and hopefully get enough subscribers to get another drag racing car so that I can do road courses on the GT350 and drag races with something else. As always, family, none of this can happen without you guys, so please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and share with friends and family to help me grow the channel. I do have a long pipeline. You friggin' perverts. A pipeline of content rolling out for the GT350, as well as motorcycle and tech videos. Again, I'm gonna be doing a car video once a week, so the motorcycle and tech content is in addition to that. So big things coming, guys. So what do you think? Is the C8 a GT500 killer? Which one would you guys buy and why? Let's discuss in the comments below. Love you guys. Always remember the motto, always be kinder than necessary.